We've had a really nice week. We've sort of crammed a lot in this week, or last week, should I say. School's been out, my wife's been off work. And so I've had quite a nice time, obviously. If you've seen my channel, I think 2 videos ago, I did a video in Wales, wanted to share that with you. Today I'm going to use this sketchbook. I've not done a sketchbook, anything in a sketchbook for a while. This is Seawhites of Brighton. I've barely used it. I'll show you what I've done. This is a painting that I did this was in Dorset. I'm trying to think of the place. If you do have a sketchbook, it's nice probably to write down the date, where you was when you painted it, that sort of thing. And then I did take my some paints to Turkey with me last year. Not a very good sketch, but just a quick painting of the hotel complex that we was at in Turkey. You have these nice mountains in the background, and just one of the buildings. I really did like the way the buildings looked. So yeah, I'm just gonna I've got some clips. I want to clip this page down. With it being a sketchbook, it will probably start coming alive. Now, I think, I'm gonna turn the light on. It might help. If I have, okay, technical difficulties. There we go. Okay, so lights on. I am going to actually try. Now, you might see me fall flat on my face for this one. Winglebert 314, keep doing what you're doing. Thank you. I do appreciate that. Thank you for being here. I'm going to use, so this is Inktense, Derwent Inktense. I know I did have a comment a couple of weeks ago and asking if I could do an Inktense demo. You can see it's just a small set. There's how many? 12 colours in there, quite nice. I think the thing is with Inktense, I do believe that they're not very light fast. Light fast meaning that they will fade over time. But as you can see, the pencils that I've got, I very, very, very rarely use them. In fact, I do have a set of the blocks. You can get these pencils or you can get blocks as well and use them. You can treat them just like watercolor. And I really don't know what I'm going to paint, to be honest. I'm just going to, you can use these as pencils or you can add water to them so you can paint with them. So yeah, I'm not familiar with them, so I wanted to, I've used them once or twice. I really haven't done very much with them. So I'm just going to pop in some colours. I'm thinking just have a play around and see what I come up with. You can blend, you can do all these sort of things. And the harder you press down, the more pressure you put on, the deeper or darker the pigment is. So I'm just going to do a tree, I think. That's the idea. So let me just pop in a few little details. Hopefully you can see that. Let me just move the camera. There we go. Sorry about that. It's been a little while as well since I've done a live stream. I did talk my last video about burnout, and that's something that is real if you're on YouTube, if you create content, and you know you can get quite burnt out from I think everyone needs a break. So that's what I've had since coming back from Wales. I've not really done much. I've not posted much. There's 2 videos since Wales, or 1 video since Wales, or is it 2? I don't know. But yeah, thanks for joining. Whereabouts are you from? Winglebert, whereabouts are you joining from? I always find it really fascinating getting all these different countries, you know, all around the world, join in, and it's really nice to see. It's a really powerful tool, YouTube, to reach, well, whoever, the world. It's really fascinating for me. Okay, so I've got a few colours there. I'm gonna touch in a little bit of water. Let's see how this responds. Not too much water, but I'm using my mop brush. Fairly large, I suppose. It's not the largest one that I've got, but just tapping in some water, and I'm allowing those colours to mix as well. Can you see that? Really vibrant, quite nice. And I think it's just something I need to do more of with, I think we've all got materials that we don't tend to use very much. We see maybe a bargain, maybe something that we've always fancied trying, and you know, we get these things and it's a good idea at the time, and hopefully we can, you know, use those one day. And that's what I want to do, just use some more of my some more materials that I've got that I don't really use. I know I've got a few brushes that I've still never used from new. I've bought them and just, I know I'll use them one day, but you know, just make the most of what we've got. I think I'm one of those, I'm a creature of habit, so I like sticking to what I know. So that's what I like to do, and I'm sure I'm not alone in that. Let me know if you do the same. Now, I know some people may sort of dip these pencils in water, but that's no good for the lead inside the pencil, so it is better to put down the pigment first, like so, and then add water afterwards. Oh, that's actually a blue. I thought it was a sort of black, or maybe it is, I'm not sure. Maybe it's a Payne's grey. I know sometimes in Payne's grey you can get this more on the blue side, but yeah, it looks like a, let me see, I think it's, oh yeah, it's actually deep indigo. So it's a nice colour. It's a nice colour. Let me just see if I can pull this pigment just a bit more, see how it spreads, that sort of thing. And you can actually, once this is dry, you can actually layer it, so you can add more as well. I really don't have any clue what I'm doing. Sea blue, this one's a sea blue. I think they're referred to by the numbers as well, 1200. Let me just pop in a little sky. Okay, sometimes you can get these, I do remember, sometimes you do get these, you can still get the lines coming through from the pencil, as you can see. But maybe you like that sort of thing, I don't know. I'm gonna come along, because it's a sketchbook, I'm gonna use both sides of the spread and see what I can come up with. So you can see, as I'm coming away from the pencil, it goes lighter and lighter, so you can use it in your washes, that sort of thing. Like I said, you can sometimes still see the pencil marks, as you can see. And I'm just painting as I feel. I do that sometimes, and sometimes it works out right, but like I said, I may just fall on my face with this one. Not really sure what I'm doing, but anyway, let's just see what these pencils can do, and just have fun. It probably looks, and I think it does look like a 6-year-old's painting, but there we go. Just getting some pigment on there. Hopefully I can make something quite nice. If you keep watching, it may turn out nice, I'm not sure, but you can see the idea. Okay, so it's just really, it's hard for me to switch from watercolors that I normally do to this style because I keep meaning to grab, I keep nearly grabbing my paints. I'm so used to mixing paints and adding the water and this, that and the other. It's taking me a little bit of getting used to this. But, well, we'll see how we get on. I'm going to add some more green. I'm going to go over that sky. I'm not really fussed. You can see it doesn't really cover very well on the wet. Oh, I don't know. Doesn't really... And then again, there's the paper. I've not used this sketchbook for some time. Maybe I should have gone with what I know. I'm going in with Inktense that I've not really used very much. Oh, that's a mess. I'm gone in with Inktense, which isn't my sort of thing, and with paper that I'm not really used to, so I am against it today. Okay, I think... Okay, I'm gonna have to sort of... Let's get some distant hills, that sort of thing, in the background, and just add a little bit, very lightly. I'm doing this now because I want it the distance. I don't want it to be too dark, that sort of thing. And can you see that? Yep. Okay. Let me know what you think. Oh, hi Susan, if you're watching, hit the like, peeps. Thank you, Susan. Help Dave out. Are those watercolor pencils? No, Susan, they're actually Inktense, the Derwent Inktense. I've got a couple of sets of these. You can get these pencils. They're like a watercolor pencil, I suppose. Yeah. I think they are classed as a watercolor pencils, but it's slightly different. Slightly different. I don't think it's as transparent as what I believe. I'm not sure. If anyone knows, just drop me a comment and let me know. I've not really used them that much, so this one, it could be an epic fail. Not sure. It looks quite childlike, this painting. So hopefully I can pull it back and do something quite nice. Just testing these out, really. You can see the pencil line. I think because I added that while the paper was still wet, maybe. And I'm gonna sea blue. So yeah, Susan, it's just a set of 12 pencils that I bought years ago, and someone did ask if I could do a video using Inktense, so this is it. Probably disastrous, but there we go. The pressure's on, especially because I'm live, so hopefully I can pull this back and, you know, make something quite interesting, at least. Let's say that. It's certainly not going to be a masterpiece of any sort, but that's the way it goes. Okay, so I'm trying to find, there's a brown. This is Baked Earth. You can see that, Baked Earth. It's 1800, the number. So let me just add a few more trees and this, that and the other. I really don't know how this is going to turn out. I think my son could probably do better. But I'm going to enjoy this. It's going to be something completely different. Teal green. This is teal green. Let's see how this one... Oh, that's not a tree colour at all. I'm going to go back into the apple green. It is apple green. So let's just add this. Okay. I should probably quit while I'm ahead because this is not going the way I expected. Didn't really have a plan anyway. Didn't really have any painting in mind. Just wanted to show you, really. And I've probably not sold these very well. You can get the idea. It's probably the wrong paper, I'm thinking. It's the Sea White of Brighton. I don't know the weight of it, but it's probably not the best. I'm probably going against it now with this, but I'll keep going and see what I can do. I think I'll be able to do something okay. I think I can do something, probably, you know, pull it back a little bit, because at the moment it's not looking too good. So I'm just going in with a lighter. I don't know if you can see that. I'm just off camera, sorry. I'm just going to bring this in. Just add in a little bit more lighter. This is the sea blue. I don't have cerulean blue or ultramarine or anything like that. Cobalt blue. Oh, hold on. Deep indigo. No, I've already used that one. It does look like a blue, if you can see on the pencil. It does look like a blue. This, I think that's an indication of the colour, but it certainly wasn't like a blue for the tree. It's quite a nice colour. I think, yeah, I think that works. That's quite nice for a tree. Yeah. So just add a little bit more of this blue. Quite nice, actually, this blue. I've only used a tiny sort of, not a lot of pigment. I did put that down nice and light. So, okay, can you see that? Hopefully you can see that. That's quite nice, I suppose. Okay. I'm just so tempted. I can't even tell you. I'm just so tempted to get my watercolors and go in. This is so much out of my comfort zone. But hey, it is what it is, and let's see what we can create. I'm just going to go in, as this is the baked earth again. Just a bit of brown. I'm going to just go in and add colours. It really does look like a child's done this. Okay, never mind. Maybe if you're at this level, then maybe it can help. I don't know. But well, it's definitely different. Not my usual style, I must admit. I might have to just use some pen as well to, you know, make things a little better. Oh, I've got the larger mop now. Okay, so there's a bit of yellow in the sort of mid-foreground, sort of in the distance. I suppose I can see things are beginning to work a little bit now. And I'll just bring that down just a little bit. You don't have to go, it's a sketchbook. So at the end of the day, it's only a sketchbook. Not really fussed. I've seen lots of Derwent watercolor pencils and wanted to try them, kind of pricey. Yeah, they are. And like I said before, they're, I don't think they're the best light fastness. Whenever you're buying watercolors, you want to check the light fast value of them, and that light fast just means how they stand up to time. So if they're not very light fast, they have ratings. If they're not very light fast, it means they're just going to fade a lot faster. So I do believe that these Inktense are not very light fast. So if you want to do something, if you're doing a commission, or if you want something, they call it, is it archaical? Like you want to keep a piece or frame it, it wants to go on the wall. There's certain colours that you can look at, certain pigments, certain brands, this, that, and the other. And usually, obviously, the cheaper the brand, you get these really, really cheap brands. They're not going to be very light fast, as I think. I'm not sure, but that's probably the difference. So they are a bit pricey, but like I said, you can use them for just to use it as a pencil. So that's what you can do as well. Okay, it's beginning to dry. Yeah, I think I am going to go on with pen. Let me just adjust. Yeah, there we go. Sorry about that. I'm just going to go in with a pen and see if I can pull this together, make something interesting. And that's one key. That's one thing that I do recommend if you're if you're struggling with watercolor, if you're you know, you've done a painting, it looks quite well, but you don't really know how to, maybe it's looking a bit lost, you know, that sort of thing. You can always use a pen if you do have them. This is the uh, Art Line, just a fine liner. It's permanent ink and it's waterproof. So that's the sort of thing you want to look out for. If you get these pens, you can always just add to your painting if you're struggling or if you are new. Then these are perfect. I always get myself out of trouble with these, just to add a little bit more interest to your painting as well. So just adding this pen, you can see the difference that makes already. It's beginning to look a little less childlike, but hey, I'm enjoying it. It's different, definitely different. So let's just add these sort of things going in. And I'm so tempted though. It's just so tempted to go in with the watercolors, you won't believe. But while that's drying, let me move you to the other side. Now I'm gonna add another tree here, and I'm gonna go in with a pen first. So there we go. And I think as long as you have fun, it don't really matter about the end result. It is nice when you come out with a successful painting, but sometimes it's not always. But well, never say never, because as long as we learn from what we've done, then it's not wasted, right? So I suppose there's always that side as well. I don't know what sort of tree this is, but it's not looking, it's going the way, I think it's going the way of the painting, so it suits the painting. It looks like Groot. Groot, is it? Yeah. So I'm just adding just a little bit of texture, and I'm scribbling, don't matter. Scribbling this one. It's an old gnarly tree, so I'm not too fussed about what happens on that. And maybe give him a friend here. So we're going to have limbs coming outwards here. I haven't done a painting like this since I was in primary school. But, oh well. Okay, I've lost the brush. Oh, there it is, hiding. Okay, what else are you? Yep. No, see, I'm grabbing the brush first. I'm forgetting that I'm using the Inktense. So let me just add some foliage now to these branches, these trees, just going in and just adding some colour. And maybe I can switch that up. Maybe, okay, we're going to go for some of this. Oh, it's poppy red, quite a nice colour. Poppy red, see how that responds. Just add a little bit here and there on the tree. Maybe not everywhere, but yeah, just to give it some different colours. I'm going to go in a bit darker now with this green. This is apple green. Yeah, apple green. So if you do want to invest in some Inktense, maybe opt for the 12 set. I don't know whether you can get them individually, but I know they're quite easy to get a hold of it here in the UK. I don't know what they're like to get in different places. I mean, they're made in the UK. Derwent is Cumbria. It's in the Lake District, so I'm presuming they come from there. I'm guessing. I think they have a pencil factory of some sort. I'd like to go and see it. I think they do. They must be just Derwent, I think. But yeah. Okay. So while I'm doing this, just gives that other side a bit of time to dry, and maybe I can go over and start adding to that side as well. Just thinking what else I can put in, what else I can include to make this a bit better. I'm just trying to get, because it's quite a wide shot, all about the joy it brings. Yeah, that's true, Susan. You know, I'm just playing around with these really. I don't have any expectations now of what's going to happen or what I might finish with, but hey ho. It may inspire someone. If there's a 4-year-old watching, it may be inspiring. But there we go. Just gonna add water to that. It does, I think it's quite nice with the pen. If I bring the camera back over here a sec, it does look quite nice with the pen. Sort of an illustration type, because it's quite, I always thought it was ink. With it being Inktense, I thought it's more like an ink, but you can dilute it. So it is classed as a watercolor, but it is different to watercolor. I don't know quite the difference, but I don't know. But if you do want to try them, then why not? It's just worth getting. I don't know. I'm just adding color, not fussed now. I think at this point I'm just going with the flow. I don't know. Someone might get value from it. So I'm enjoying it. I don't care. So I do appreciate you watching if you're still here. If you are, then please do hit that like. It would be nice. It's just a fun little childish painting. Okay. Let me see. Okay, I think I know what I'm going to do here now. I'm going to grab sea blue again, or do I want indigo? We'll go for the indigo, deep indigo. I'm going to go for a really light mountain, sort of behind this mountain range. So let's just start there. That's just a little bit of pigment. I don't want anything too dark, because this is in the distance, so I want it quite pale. I don't know if this colour is going to be too dark. See, I've only used a little bit of the pigment. Well, I think it's working. And just touch some water on that and soften that. Okay, so yeah, it just gives a little depth to this painting. I can even just keep going from that pigment and drag it across. Yeah, okay, so you can see there's a little bit more interest, I suppose. And I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to go in some let's start layering now some darker green in the foreground. So I'm just going over where I've painted before, so I am layering, glazing. Don't know how it's going to work on here. And like I said, not really used these Inktense very much. I think I've probably tried them, but I wanted to just do this video anyway and see what I can do. So just adding this green. Maybe a bit more up there, but lighter, because we're going off into the distance. Now, if I add some water to that, let's see what happens. Just a bit of water. Okay, it's very vibrant, this colour. It's not a colour that I would necessarily use in a landscape. See, a lot of these colours are really punchy, and so maybe that's if you're doing flowers or illustration, that type of painting, I think these will be quite nice. But not sure on a landscape. Really not my sort of thing, I suppose. Maybe if we add some blue. So if you want to darken your green, add different tones to it, you can just go in and add a little bit of blue. I know that anyway. So I don't know how this is going to work, but let's add some water to that, activate that colour. Okay. I don't know how many times I can do that on this paper. With it being a sketchbook, it is thinner paper. It is sized. You know, there's a sizing on it, but whether that's going to let me do too many layers, I'm not sure. Probably start, the paper will probably start crumbling and doing all this sort of thing. I'm just jumping around because just not used to these, and I'm just using them, seeing what happens on the paper. I'm just adding some darker. This is the sea deep indigo now. So I'm just adding that in the trees. Okay, let's get some nice darks. Try and get rid of that background mountain that you can see through the trees. I thought these were not as transparent as watercolors, but maybe they are. Maybe you have to layer them to get more sort of opaqueness, opacity, whatever it's called. Okay, so just add in some of this darker green. I suppose it's a nice colourful scene, if nothing else. Not realistic at all, but just testing these ink tints out. Maybe if you are considering getting some ink tints, maybe this puts you off. I don't know. Maybe this puts you off, but gives you an idea what they can do. And there's no rush to these sort of things. You can take your time. You can sort of, if you like to draw, then just take your time in drawing whatever it is you're going to paint. Add the ink tints. Either draw with the ink tints or use pencil or pen. I like to normally use the pen afterwards, but let's see. I'm going to grab, I think that indigo is quite nice actually. I think of all the colours that I've used so far, I do kind of like this one because it's covering a lot of stuff that I want to cover anyway. So this is going to be another layer to this, another wash. So it will get a bit more intense, the colour. It'll get a bit more saturated. The colours will become quite deep. Let's see what he's saying. It looks great, Dave. Don't underrate it. Thank you, Susan. That's very kind. Well, I don't know. It's different. It's not my usual bag, but this might really help someone. Don't know. I think I'm going to go in with another mountain actually in the sort of background. Sea blue, I think I'm going to use that one now. Maybe, I can hear a cat outside. We've got 2 female cats and one of them doesn't go out at all and the other one hardly ever in. So we got all these tomcats, even had a fox one time in the garden, sort of looking through the bench, like when Ella, she's called, when she was on heat, Yeah, we even had a fox hanging around. Had to Google it if a fox would mate with a cat, and no, they're not interested. So I was happy with that. Otherwise, we'd have little cubs, little fox babies everywhere. But yeah, I think that is quite a nice colour. In fact, I'm going to use the indigo because I think the first mountain here is sea blue. So I'm just going to add a little bit of that indigo now. Just let's see what happens with that. Just a few suggestions. So this gives a bit more, let's see if I can see. Yeah, okay. This gives a little bit more form, a bit more shape to the mountains. I didn't bring any tissue or anything to pull out to soften or to lift, should I say, lift any of the pigment. Because normally what I would do, if you've seen my channel before, I would like to lift one of the sides. So let's see if I can do similar or blend it at least. There we go. Yes, I would normally have a tissue to hand or something, anything to, remove pigment where it's too dark or, something like that. Let me see if I can move. There we go. But I completely forgot. In fact, I was running late. I usually do these lives at 10 o'clock in the UK time. I think it was about 11:15 when I started this one. So I don't know whether anyone was expecting. I nearly forgot, actually, it's Tuesday as well. I think just having a little break and not doing much. I even spent a few days where I didn't even look at my YouTube comments. And well, I looked at the comments, I answered all the comments, but I didn't even look at any analytics or anything like that for a good few days anyway. So I've just tried to have a little step back, a little break from when I was in Wales. I just wanted to just spend a bit more time with my family. I know my son been complaining I'm always on my YouTube and he hates it, and I'm just contending with that. So I've got to make the most of the time when he's at school and maybe late on in the evening, not take too much time. It's difficult, you've got to try and balance if you're working and, family, all that sort of thing. And obviously, like I said, it distracts, or is the art distracting from family? I don't know. I love this. It's beautiful. Thank you, Susan. I think, even at the beginning, if I wasn't live, then I would have quit this painting. But I think sometimes, you just gotta keep going. And I've said it before, if it's not working, then find something that works. There might be a building. There could be a building that you put in, or you might just put it in to make it work. And you can work on that one thing. And it can become a focal point. It can become a point where your painting turns around, and just make one thing look interesting. Don't give up, because there is that ugly stage as well when things get a little bit ugly with watercolor. In the sort of middle stages, you've done your first wash, it looks okay, and then when you start adding a second wash and some of the details, sometimes it can get a little bit messy, it can look a bit lost, that sort of thing. But I think, like this one, if you just keep going, you can actually pull things back a lot of the times. I'm not going to say every time, but I really can't remember the last time that I did scrap a painting. I just keep going. And you may think I'm not happy with this. I might, I don't like it. But there's people out there that probably do. you know, someone out there, everyone. And that's the thing with art, it's very subjective. So what you think is a disaster, another person's masterpiece. So just keep going, and if nothing else, just have fun. Just learn a few new things, that you can do. And like me, this is quite, I wouldn't say new. Well, I suppose it is a new medium to me because I've sampled it maybe once. So it is new to me, this. So I am learning a few things as well as I'm putting the pigment down and then adding the water. You don't have to add water, you can leave it as like a pencil sketch. It can be a dry medium. Maybe that's what will have to happen soon, because I'm sure this paper can't take any more of the pencil scratching. I think I'll start probably going through to the other page. But let's see, what else can I do? Let's see, I think, could I add some more dark? No. I think over this side I tried adding some dark while it was still wet, so it didn't really, it just left with a bit of a scratchy. You can see this is still wet. Maybe this is where I would probably grab a hairdryer, my wife's hairdryer. The last one blew up, not because of me, but in fact, I don't think she's got one. It's like a ring. It's like a wand with a ring. I don't know what it is. So maybe that wouldn't work anyway. But yeah, just add in some of this dark, and it really is giving the paper a hard time now. I'm sure it's going to start going through. In fact, I'm going to use a bigger brush for that. So if you don't have any of these brushes, there's a really nice brushes, these mop brushes, natural hair. I think they're squirrel mop. No, I really cannot do any more on this now because the paper is gonna fail. It's gonna go through, I think. Deep indigo. Okay, just gonna try it with that tree. It's a bit, I think I went too heavy while it was dark with the pencil dry, so you got those scratchy marks. So let me lightly go into this tree. Hopefully you can see. Yeah, I'm not blocking too much. Does my wife paint? Hi world, no thanks for coming in. Yep. Does my wife paint? No, she does say, and I've sometimes thought that I should buy one of those diamond painting sets. I know some people really love those, and I love the way some of the paintings look when they're done. She finishes work and she likes the TV. You know, that's one of the things that she likes to do to unwind. But I have had another easel. When I had my other easel, I did have my son set up with an easel next to me, and we did paint together, which was quite fun. And I think, and that's one of the things that I learned right there, is if you get shown how to do something, you can do it. You can do it. And you're motivated, you're pumped up and you're excited and all these sort of things. If someone's just guiding you, it is possible, and you can get a really nice result. And I think I'll have to, I did take a picture, and I do have the painting somewhere. We did the same sort of painting, but obviously I did tell him what to do and how to do it. I got to go to work, y'all. Have a great day. Yeah, thank you, Susan. Thanks for joining. Have a super duper day. Hopefully you don't work too hard. You got a new sub, Dave. Not sure if you saw them. No, I didn't know. Is it in the comments? I'm not sure. But yeah, because I'm filming on my my ring light, it's difficult to see even the comments. I can see, but I wasn't aware that I got a new subscriber. But welcome, thank you for joining. Let's see. Yeah, I kind of like the way it's going now. Have a wonderful day, Susan, and I'll see you around the tube. Let me see, I've got, oh, bark. I never saw this colour, bark. And you can see this is one colour that I have used before. So bark 2000. So I'm going to add some of this to these trees, to the bark. I'm sure that's what it's for, trees, tree branches and things like that. So I'm going to add some, and I'm going to just one side so that we have a bit of a interesting shadow side. So just a little bit of water. I'm using a smaller brush now, you can see a thinner, smaller brush. So I want a bit more control, I think. And there we go. Yeah, I've really got to be careful with this paper now. Usually I'd be fine because I normally do use just paper, I'm not, a sketchbook is normally, I used to use them quite a lot, but I don't really, I need to do more and maybe go out and do some plein air painting. Maybe that's something I could do in a video. That would be quite interesting. We've had some nice weather. It's not now. It's gone a bit rubbish, the weather, a bit crap. So let me just pull you back over there. So I've just done the same. I've added a little the bark colour to this side of the tree. So I'm just adding a little bit more depth and a little bit more to the tree. See, that's quite a nice colour. It's quite dark. I do like that, actually. To be fair, that's quite nice. And I don't even know whether I put any on this one, but there we go. Okay, I think it's beginning to work now. I'm not sure what else I could add. World knows is the name. Ah, okay, for the subscriber. Okay, welcome World Knows. Thank you for subscribing. I do have plenty on my playlist now for beginners. That's something I do like to do. Deep indigo. I'm going to go for a little bit of that, a bit more of that in the grass, just on the bottom part. See if that gives us a bit more depth. So when you look at it, I mean, it's beginning to take shape now. See, this is what I mean by sometimes you've got to persevere. You can see that now. Yeah, it looks okay. It looks okay. I'm happy-ish. And, you know, if you do paint, then, you know, we are our worst critics. But, yeah, it's beginning to work now. And it came from where it was. It really was a bit disastrous. But now it's beginning to take shape and I'm enjoying it a bit more. And things, I've been able to pull things back. So if nothing else you learn from this video, just keep going, you know, get through that ugly stage. If you're not happy with the painting, find something that's going to work. You can find something that's going to be interesting. You know, just find that one thing. If it is a fail, just find that one thing that you can make interesting. And that to me is a success. And as long as we learn as we go along, you know, maybe it's a new brush that we've not used. Maybe it's new colours that we've never tried. You know, just nobody's watching. I can't say that, but if you're painting and you're not, you know, you're doing a YouTube or anything like that, there's no pressure. There's no pressure whatsoever. Just enjoy the process, and the more you do, the more mistakes you do, the better you become. Well, that's what I say anyway. Make me feel a bit better. Okay, deep indigo. I'm gonna go. Maybe. Yep, I'm gonna do some shadows now. Let me do. I think that will make a difference in this painting for sure. Let me do that. And I'm sure that will make all the difference. See, the one thing, this is the one thing now that can make this into something a bit more interesting. You can see that the effect that has on the overall, if you call it a composition, on the overall painting, it does give us something quite interesting. And I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to make the most of that light. So just moving the camera a little bit. I do apologize, it is not the best setup, but I want to add a little bit more yellow to the top of these trees, just to, you know, give me more of that feeling of light. So I'm going to go outside of the tree now, pressing on quite hard, and we'll see what happens there. And maybe a bit on here as well. I think this tree is a bit of a disaster, to be honest. I think I did that completely wrong. But like I said, this Inktense is not a medium that I'm used to. So that's my excuse anyway. It's my excuse. But, you know, sometimes we're going to try these things and we don't know if we don't try. Isn't that right? And like I say, embrace those mistakes and those things that we learn. Or as Bob Ross said, we don't make mistakes, we have happy accidents. You know, it's all a process. It's quite bright, that is quite vibrant. So I'm just gonna mix in that a little bit as well. I'm mindful of the paper because I don't think there's not going to be much more I can do, to be fair, before the paper starts disintegrating. But there we go. It's hard to capture when you're filming vertical. It's hard to capture the whole thing because obviously it's in landscape profile, whatever it's called. But yeah, I think I'm coming to an end. I'm just looking. Okay, I think I know what I can do. If you just bear with me, I'm gonna add some more pen. Oh. So yeah, if you do want to sort of try the Derwent Inktense, you can get these pencils. This is a 12 set. You can actually get, I think it's 24 and maybe a bigger set, 36 perhaps, I'm not sure. But if you are interested in getting some of them, then why not? You can always look to see if they sell them singularly. But maybe that's an idea if you can grab one or two. Just grab your favorite colors. I really enjoy yellow ochre. If they've got that, then that would be a color that I would definitely go for. Yellow ochre, just a nice summer color, nice soft warm yellow, and I use that in pretty much all of my paintings. So I don't know whether they do that in the Inktense, but that's the sort of colour I'd go for. I'd usually just go for like earthy colours, so yellow ochre, sap green. I am a fan of sap green. I don't know, I know a lot of artists just tend to use hooker's green and make their own greens from that. But I find sap green is the closest to the green, the natural sort of green that you see in trees. And I just add things to that colour. You know, I'll add a bit of French ultramarine. I would add yellow of some sort to that colour as well. And just depends what colour you're going for. You're either going on the blue side or more of the yellow. So it's quite nice. Okay, I'm gonna bring that. Okay. So I think the Inktense, if I'm honest, I think is nice for an illustration type painting. I'd love to know your thoughts if you do use Inktense, if you're familiar with the Inktense, or if you use any other watercolor pencil. I do have another set of watercolor pencils, but they're from there's a shop here in the UK, WH Smith's. I do have a set of those. I'm not sure, I don't think I've ever used them. It was my brother who had them, and he's really good with pencil. He does lots of drawings, just pencil drawings. But he has tried painting, and he just says he can't mix colours. So he gave me those watercolors pencils. So I've not really used them. I think with watercolors, yeah, you can get I think if you was to get cheaper, let me try, sorry. If you were to get cheaper watercolors, then I would definitely recommend, if you're beginning, if you're starting out and you're wondering, I mean, there's so many brands out there. If you're wondering what paints to get, I wouldn't get the cheapest ones that are just in the supermarket or anything like that. There is some Cotman paints out there, by Winsor & Newton. They're actually student grade, and they're really, really nice paints. I used those for many, many years when I first started painting. It was the very first set that I got. And yeah, I used them for a long time. It's only the last few years that I actually invested in some professional grade. Do they make a difference? Yeah, they do. But as far as cheap paints go, I definitely do recommend Cotman. They are really, really nice, vibrant colours and really good quality. So yeah, I would definitely recommend those. And I did get some White Knights as well a few years ago. They're St. Petersburg White Knights, Russian watercolors, and they're professional grade, and they're fantastic colors, fantastic paints, and they're really inexpensive. They are here anyway. I don't know about where everyone's from, if you can get those, or but if you can, then I would suggest, if you're on a budget, I would suggest they're probably the best out of the cheaper. They're professional grade watercolors, but at a student sort of price. So if you are on a budget, I would recommend Cotman or White Knights, if you can get those. Really nice paints, really nice paints. But I think if you was to invest in anything, I would say if you could get the paint, the paper, sorry, the paper. I think if you're on a budget, or if you're just starting out, just concentrate on getting the best paper you can for the money. And I know I do use Bockingford paper, which is very inexpensive, and it's not cotton. It's a wood pulp paper. And if you know about your papers, obviously the cotton paper is more favoured among artists. I love using the cotton paper. It just really, really does make a difference to your paintings. I saw Karen Rice do a painting just a few days ago, quite recent, and she was saying, whatever you do, just get some cotton paper, no matter where you're at, and your paintings just will be a lot better. And I do agree with that. But sometimes we are on a budget and we can't get those luxuries. But it definitely is worth investing when you're in a position to buy, because it really does pay off dividends. And but if you are on a budget, then nothing wrong with some some Bockingford. It really is nice paper. It's probably the best. It's the best paper that I've tried that is not cotton. So if you're after new paper, then you could always try that. Okay. Let me see. I think I'm going to add some more scribble. You'll see this does make an interesting texture. So just move the camera. I'm just going to squiggle in some little details with the pen again, and this does give me that illustrative look. So it's like something that you'd see in a reading book, a children's reading book. I did see something the other day on TV of Enid Blyton, and she was a fantastic artist. She did those, what was it? I was going to say Harry Potter then, but Beatrix Potter, the, what are they called? It's gone. Peter Rabbit, that's it. Peter Rabbit, she did the illustrations for that. I think it was, wasn't it? Let me know if I'm wrong, but I sort of have that feeling. I think it is. No, it was Beatrix Potter, wasn't it, that illustrated for Peter Rabbit? Yeah, Beatrix Potter. I'm thinking Enid Blyton from Roald Dahl books. I love all of them. I love those illustrations, and that's something that I would love to have done. Never say never. But I really enjoy the, when you go to court and you have the artists in the dock or whatever it's called, and they do those sketches of the people on trial or people in the courts. I really like those, and I'd love to be able to do that as a job. That would be fantastic. And I'd also like to be a tattoo artist, so from one extreme to another. So there we go. Let me move you. Oh, no, I'm going to carry on just a little bit more details here. Let's try and salvage this tree because it is a bit messy. But like I said, the illustrations in these sort of books, they are squiggly and scratchy sort of paintings. So there is a place for it, I suppose, and I think I've pulled this one back a little bit. It looks half decent. It's in a medium that I'm not comfortable with, so I think I'm happy. I managed to get some result out of it, if nothing else. But yeah, you can see the idea, and these pens, if you haven't got any drawing pens, any ink pens, you can actually use a normal Bic pen, as long as it's good quality. I've seen people do that. Charles Evans is one that has used those sort of pens. But that's it. I think I'm happy to leave that there. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Let me see if I can. Oh, that's gone completely down now. But yeah, let me take the camera off. This is the hard part from the clamp. But yeah, hopefully you can see that. It's interesting, let's say, with the Inktense. I think I've managed to make something of it. You see the mountains in the background, the grass in the foreground, which is quite sharp looking and defined. And I think I like these shadows that are cast from the trees. So the sun would be coming from the left-hand side. So I've got all the shadows on the right-hand side. Don't forget that, quite an important thing to remember. I do remember seeing someone paint and they had the sun in one place and the shadows in completely the wrong side. I didn't have the heart to say anything. But that's it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.